Genesis 33 recounts the reunion of Jacob and Esau after many years of estrangement. Here's a summary of the key points from Genesis 33. Before we start, we'd like to ask for your support. If you enjoy our video, please hit the like button. This will help us reach more people and create content for you. Now let's get started with today's video. Genesis 33, the reunion of Jacob and Esau. Genesis 33 is a crucial chapter in the narrative of Jacob and Esau, two brothers whose relationship had been filled with conflict and strife. Their story goes back to their early days when Jacob, the younger of the twins, deceitfully obtained both Esau's birthright and blessing. As a result, Esau harbored anger and a desire for revenge, leading Jacob to flee to his uncle Laban's household for protection. After many years of separation, Genesis 33 depicts their reunion, which, contrary to Jacob's fears, turns into a peaceful and emotional encounter. Verses 1 to 3, Jacob's anxiety and precaution. Jacob looked up and there was Esau, coming with his 400 men, so he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and the two female servants. He put the female servants and their children in front, Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph in the rear. He himself went on ahead and bowed down to the ground 7 times as he approached his brother. Genesis 33 verses 1 to 3. The chapter begins with Jacob seeing Esau approaching with 400 men, a force that would have understandably frightened Jacob. His fear is rooted in their troubled past, particularly the events of Genesis 27, where Jacob tricked their father Isaac into giving him the blessing intended for Esau. Jacob's anxiety manifests in his strategic organization of his family, a sign of both his deep fear and his desire to protect his loved ones. Jacob bows down 7 times, an act of profound humility and submission in ancient Near Eastern culture. This act of bowing was significant, often used when approaching someone of superior status or power. It indicates Jacob's acknowledgement of the wrong he did to Esau and his willingness to reconcile in peace. The 7-fold bowing is also symbolic, often associated with completion or perfection in biblical literature. Jacob's actions show a full, sincere gesture of reconciliation. Verses 4 to 7, Esau's unexpected reaction. But Esau ran to meet Jacob and embraced him. He threw his arms around his neck and kissed him. And they wept. Then Esau looked up and saw the women and children. "Who are these with you?" he asked. Jacob answered, "They are the children God has graciously given your servant." Genesis 33 verses 4 to 7. In contrast to Jacob's fears of violence, Esau's reaction is one of warmth and emotion. He runs to Jacob, embraces him, and kisses him. The image of two brothers weeping together is deeply moving and speaks to the power of forgiveness and reconciliation. Esau's reaction shows that despite the years of estrangement and the previous conflict, his heart had softened. This reunion echoes the theme of forgiveness that appears repeatedly in the Bible, emphasizing the importance of letting go of past grievances. Esau's question about Jacob's family shifts the focus from their personal conflict to the blessings Jacob had received in the intervening years. Jacob's response reflects his recognition that all his children and wealth are gifts from God. He refers to himself as Esau's servant, once again demonstrating his humility and willingness to restore peace between them. Verses 8 to 11, the gift of reconciliation. Esau asked, "What's the meaning of all these flocks and herds I met?" "To find favor in your eyes, my lord," he said. But Esau said, "I already have plenty, my brother. Keep what you have for yourself." "No, please," said Jacob. If I have found favor in your eyes, accept this gift from me. For to see your face is like seeing the face of God, now that you have received me favorably. Please accept the present that was brought to you, for God has been gracious to me and I have all I need." And because Jacob insisted, Esau accepted it. Genesis 33 verses 8 to 11. Jacob had sent ahead a large gift of livestock to Esau, hoping to appease him before their meeting. Genesis 32 verses 13 to 21. When Esau inquires about the meaning of the gift, Jacob explains that it was intended to find favor with Esau. Jacob's fear and guilt are evident in his desire to offer restitution for his past wrongs. The giving of gifts was a common practice in the ancient world, especially as a gesture of reconciliation between two parties. The sheer size of Jacob's gift suggests both his wealth and his genuine remorse. Esau's refusal of the gift indicates his contentment and lack of resentment. Despite Jacob's efforts, Esau shows that he does not harbor any desire for material compensation. However, Jacob insists, likening Esau's acceptance of the gift to seeing the face of God. This comparison is profound. Jacob had just wrestled with God in Genesis 32 verses 24 to 30, and had called that place Peniel, meaning the face of God. By likening Esau to God, Jacob recognizes Esau's mercy and the divine grace present in their reconciliation. Esau's acceptance of the gift finally seals their renewed bond. Verses 12 to 17, parting ways in peace. Then Esau said, "Let us be on our way, I'll accompany you." But Jacob said to him, "My Lord knows that the children are tender and that I must care for the ewes and cows that are nursing their young. If they are driven hard just one day, all the animals will die. So let my Lord go on ahead of his servant, while I move along slowly at the pace of the flocks and herds before me and the pace of the children, until I come to my Lord in Seir." Esau said, "Then let me leave some of my men with you." "But why do that?" Jacob asked. "Just let me find favor in the eyes of my Lord." So that day Esau started on his way back to Seir. Jacob, however, went to Succos, where he built a place for himself and made shelters for his livestock. That is why the place is called Succos. Genesis 33 verses 12 to 17. After their emotional reunion, Esau offers to accompany Jacob on his journey. However, Jacob declines, citing the needs of his children and livestock. He emphasizes that they must travel at a slow pace, and Esau graciously accepts Jacob's request. Esau even offers to leave some of his men to assist Jacob, but Jacob politely declines. This exchange reflects the newfound peace between the brothers and the respect they now have for each other's needs and circumstances. Jacob's decision to part ways and journey to Succos, instead of going directly to Seir with Esau, has been interpreted in various ways. Some scholars see this as Jacob's desire to maintain a healthy distance, possibly due to lingering mistrust or simply practical concerns. Nevertheless, the important point is that they part on good terms, without any further conflict. Jacob's settlement in Succos, where he builds shelters for his livestock, signifies a period of rest and stability after years of wandering and hardship. The name Succos means shelters, highlighting the temporary but important nature of this settlement for Jacob and his family. Verses 18 to 20, Jacob's arrival in Shechem. After Jacob came from Paddan Aram, he arrived safely at the city of Shechem in Canaan and camped within sight of the city. For 100 pieces of silver he bought from the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem, the plot of ground where he pitched his tent. There he set up an altar and called it Elilohizrael. Genesis 33 verses 18 to 20. Jacob eventually arrives in Shechem, in the land of Canaan, fulfilling God's promise to bring him back to the land of his fathers. Genesis 28 verse 15. Here, Jacob purchases a plot of land, establishing a permanent presence in Canaan. This act of purchasing land is significant because it marks the first time Jacob formally owns property in the promised land. It also foreshadows the eventual settlement of Israel in Canaan, which will become central to the biblical narrative. Jacob's construction of an altar and his naming of it Elordi, meaning God, the God of Israel, reflects his deepening relationship with God. The name Israel was given to Jacob after his encounter with God in Genesis 32 verse 28, where he was told that his new name would signify his struggle and victory with both God and men. By naming the altar Elordi, Jacob acknowledges God's sovereignty and his own transformation from a deceiver to one who has been blessed and chosen by God. Themes and reflections. 1. Forgiveness and reconciliation. The overarching theme of Genesis 33 is the power of forgiveness and reconciliation. Jacob, who had wronged Esau many years earlier, feared retribution but was instead met with compassion and love. This narrative teaches that even deep-seated conflict can be resolved through humility, repentance, and grace. Esau's ability to forgive Jacob is a powerful example of the healing that can occur when we let go of anger and choose love. 2. The sovereignty of God. Throughout this chapter, Jacob acknowledges God's role in his life, recognizing that his children, wealth, and safety are all gifts from God. His experiences, including the recent wrestling with God, have changed him, and he now walks with a deeper awareness of divine providence. Please subscribe my YouTube channel. I hope you like this video. Thank you.